How's it going, everyone? I'm the one and only Kaiju Sage. Welcome back to a new video. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at what I believe is one of the most outdated systems in Path of Exile, and a system that I think could be removed and should be removed. And as you can see on my screen, I'm talking about accuracy rating. So if you want to know what I have to say, watch further into the video. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the support that we've been getting lately. Thank you, everybody. We're like I said, we're still rolling along in the 200s. Let's keep it going. It's so great to see it. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, let's see what we can do with it. So, without further ado, let's talk about accuracy rating and my thoughts and issues with accuracy rating. So, for starters, for those of you that don't know, Path of Exile is a game that was made as a labor of love, basically to make a better, newer Diablo 2. When the guys, Chris Wilson and I think it was Chris Wilson and Mark and somebody else, I think. I'm probably totally getting it wrong, but I know it was like Chris Wilson and like two or three other guys like all made it and built the thing in like a garage, and they all just kind of like made it together, whatever. It was a labor of love based off of Diablo 2. And so as a result of Diablo 2, Path of Exile inherited a lot of systems from that game. Like, they inherited some of the good systems. Resistance's good system. That's a fine system to inherit, and they built on it and they made it their own. There was, magic and attacks and a differentiation between the two. But also, as a result of that, it inherited certain other systems. Things like, like not really immunities. Thank God they didn't let it inherit immunities. That's the worst system from Diablo 2. But it did inherit a frustrating thing as accuracy rating, basically. I think in Diablo 2, it wasn't called accuracy rating. I don't remember exactly. I think it was literally like chance to hit and stuff like that. And essentially, based off the level of a monster versus your level and your chance to hit in Diablo 2, even if your model swings at a monster and you look like you're making contact, your attack doesn't land. Why? That is my essential question. For Diablo 2, it was in 1997. They were building this in the 90s. There were no precedents. There was no anything. It was the Wild West of gaming, and so it makes sense for Diablo 2. We are no longer in the 90s. We are no longer in 1997. They have 30 years of gaming to look back upon and kind of maybe that's not the best way to handle these things. Accuracy rating is one of those systems. I hate the idea that I can walk up to an enemy, swing at it, and my model hits it. The physical model, my weapon, my attack animation goes off, lands on the enemy, but the attack misses. In my opinion, accuracy rating should be removed or drastically changed in such a way that it is not as penalizing to melee skills. Why do I say this? Compare this to spells. Spells do not have an accuracy rating. They do not have a hit rating in Path of Exile. If your spell animation and model hits the monster, it does damage. If it lands, it does damage. And that's how I think attacks should be as well. Any attack in the game, right? If I am physically making contact with the monster, say I'm playing Cyclone, right? If I'm playing Cyclone and I have a big AoE, every single hit of that Cyclone, in my opinion, should be hitting the monster regardless of my accuracy rating. And you might disagree. You might think oh, but then that takes away some of the interest and the intrigue of it. That it takes away that RP fantasy of it. But I just don't think that it is rewarding enough in that, because it is such a detriment to builds. Early melee builds and even later on melee builds, you just get penalized so harshly because you didn't scale any accuracy rating. You didn't put any accuracy on your tree or anything, and now you only have like a 60-70% chance to hit a monster. And yeah, like you then have to waste points to get that accuracy rating up, whereas you could use those on taking more damage, taking more life, getting other things that make your build feel better. And it just, I don't know, it really rubs me the wrong way. Like look at the equation in the background here. You can see how more or less, like this is probably not necessarily correct. This is on a kind of outdated website, but this is their like best guess at the equation for how accuracy is calculated. Maybe it is correct, I don't know, but we'll use it nonetheless. So you have, like yada yada yada. I won't like actually sit here and do math and equations on you guys, but you have, 1.25 times your accuracy, attacker's accuracy, and defender's evasion, yada yada yada, some numbers. And basically it just all results in, can you hit a monster of a certain level with your current accuracy rating as it is, and what's your percent chance to hit? I just think that is like really boring and honestly an outdated system that could absolutely be taken out of the game, and I think it would be better for it. I think like I don't necessarily want it to be the default, but I really feel as though it could be and should be, because like why not? Why do we need to have, attack builds be that extra layer of weaker underneath spells? You know what I mean? Spells already, and ranged ranged abilities already have such an extra advantage over melee abilities, right? Like every ranged spell has the convenience of being at range and the safeness from being at range. A melee character has to get right up on top of the enemy, has to swing and do those animations, and then as a result of all of that, imagine you walk up on a melee character taking all this extra risk, doing relatively similar damage probably, and then you walk up, take 2 swings, and both of them miss because your accuracy rating wasn't high enough. That's my thoughts on it. That's all that I'm thinking about. I think accuracy should be deleted from the game. I think it's an outdated system, and they can find ways to, change up the passive tree and all the other things surrounding it. Hopefully they will, at a minimum in PoE 2, replace it and change it and just make it so that when my attack animation hits an enemy, it hits an enemy. That's all I'm asking for. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. I really appreciate, like I said, all the support for everybody. I really appreciate everybody watching and being here and commenting and everything else. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on accuracy rating? Do you think it should be deleted from the game? Do you think it's a core integral system and you really like it? Let me know what you're thinking about. If I enjoy your comment, I'll give it a heart. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And let's see, it's Thursday, so I will see you all for a new video on Monday, and I hope you all have a great day and a great weekend.